Hello and welcome to episode 23 of our Timberborn Update 6 Apocalypse Mode playthrough here with the Iron Teeth in Cycle 16, Day 11, at the start of a 63-day bad tide. And it's been a little while since we've been in this playthrough. If you hadn't noticed, haven't been feeling too great the last week or so, but we're powering through, feeling mostly better now, so really hoping that we can get some good stuff going today to improve our playthrough. And it looks like everything is going nicely for a change. I think we finally got everything figured out with our diversions here a couple cycles ago, but there's still that part of me that, kind of doubts that. So it's good to check. But it's looking pretty nice there. So, things to accomplish today. Primarily based on your feedback, we've got some stuff to fix up here that we've been kind of working on piecemeal over the last little bit. But don't forget, we have our dirt excavator that is in the process, eventually, of being built. And that's going to be something they will take care of, hopefully, sooner rather than later. Because as soon as we get that set up, we're going to be able to do a lot more terraforming. And before they actually get any of this going here, let's hit pause while we still have a little bit of daylight. And a couple of you were not really understanding why I put this dirt excavator here. And to be perfectly honest with you, I didn't have a reason. Didn't really have a good reason, at least. So a lot of you thought it should be going over in this area to deepen this reservoir and get a little bit better storage for water, so on and so forth. And yeah, you know what? That is probably a pretty good idea. The only problem with that is if I were to build this over here and I made a deeper hole, all the water that's in here is just going to fall down into the hole and it's not going to be able to be used because of how we have stuff set up over here. So I regret to inform you that that's probably not going to end up being a great idea, at least not right now during this bad tide. We can always move it. We can always fill in the hole if we don't like having a hole there. And I do intend to fill this hole in after I've gotten enough dirt out of it. We just got to do what we got to do. So they're going to keep on doing that. But other stuff you guys have left comments talking about, specifically with regard to our, I guess we can call this the lazy river, is that, yes, this is a massive evaporation liability. And seeing how this is set up currently for farming, it's probably going to be better if we just move into a setup where it's going to be pretty much entirely irrigated with these irrigation ponds like we have here. And then we've got, well, kind of have one here because this is in part of the river itself. But we did plant all of these trees last episode. And we cleared out this space for farming. There's a few stragglers left that we're going to continue getting rid of. But I would really like today, I know we have 4,800 food. We're looking fine. But I really would like to get the rest of this stabilized as much as I can. We did put in some hydroponic gardens last time. And we have started doing all of the food. So, we do have our coffee brewery. We do have coffee beans that are being put in place. There's actually one of these I can go ahead and pop in that wasn't there before. So, it'll equal out in time. Just go ahead and get that triple speed on there. But eventually, it's going to make more sense if we kind of start consolidating stuff, make things a little bit better organized, and, just generally improve how stuff is laid out. And these deep water pumps right here really probably don't need to be in that exact spot. I kind of want to move all that up here. And there's a number of you that were rather displeased, I guess we could say, about the location of these pumps here. But they're not... Look, these are emergency. They're fine. If we put the rest of the pumps down here in this general area, we can have a much smaller place that's going to be constantly irrigated. And then either fill this in or narrow it, or something to the effect of making it impossible for all of our water to just evaporate. Because remember, this is all we got for the next 62 days. And it's going to be continually pumped out here. And we also have this pump here we can turn on, so we'll go ahead and do that. But we're going to eventually, need to kind of streamline this process. And we do have to have water coming all the way down here still. But it doesn't have to be so much surface area at any given time. Because this isn't ever going to have to be flowing completely through here. We can narrow this to a single channel wide. We can eliminate it for a lot of, I guess, probably most of this. honestly could just be a whole single channel wide, and then we just have this cap off wherever because we don't need it to go down here anymore. We got a bunch of options. So appreciate your patience as we work through that and continue getting stuff set up here. But for what it is right now, we're looking pretty good. We have so much storage for water. We have a lot of storage. We've got a lot of industrial capacity. We've got plenty of stuff that is going really, really well, and plenty of stuff that needs to continue improving. So we're just going to keep chipping away at it, piece by piece, bit by bit, and just do what we can. Common theme seems to be people really, really wanting the well-being items to get put in place for these barracks. And we do have this one barracks that's just all by itself that we don't need to have that there. So, how do we solve that problem? You put in one of these. Another one. And we'll just continue. So this is why I don't like to put the path on top of the ladder, because then I have to delete it to put something else in place. But yes, we'll just keep on adding, keep on putting more stuff in, get all the beavers in one spot, and then that's just the way she goes. But we can get rid of this guy, which means all the beavers are going to be in this one spot when they go to sleep, which means they get all of the benefits that we've placed into this area. Wow, indeed. And we have so many more things we can be doing too. We just have to, keep ourselves with our eyes on the prize, so to speak. Yeah, see, that's just about finished. Oh, but they're not going to have it done because it's time to go home. Well, if you would have, stayed at work another 5-10 minutes, maybe you would have had a new home to go home to, but that's not how that works, is it? Anyway, we'll go ahead and get rid of this barracks when the sun comes up, and then all those beavers will be living in here. That should give us a little bit of a boost for our well-being in our main district without really having to do anything else. But we are going to continue adding additional stuff as we go on. Obviously, it's going to be a little limited as to what we can do specifically in this area. But you should see a little bit of an improvement happen there. Most of the improvements to well-being are going to have to happen up here in our District 7. Because there's, not really that much going on up here. I did have some things placed in here to augment that. They just haven't been built yet, because this district is just kind of like running around with a chicken with its head cut off kind of stuff. Lots and lots and lots of stuff that just needs to get taken care of that we, for whatever reason, haven't done yet, because we don't have the beaver power. So, yes, another comment thing. We do need to put in more breeding pods, but I'm wondering if this is going to be around the time that's going to make sense to start transferring over to advanced breeding pods. Obviously, we can't right now because I don't have the science for it. But what we can go ahead and do is just put in this breeding pod again, so we can have all of our beavers doing what we're supposed to be doing. And I do need to get some guys pumping, because we are going through our water something fierce. And I know I said I was going to relocate these, but for right now, we just need to get water pumping, and it probably needs to be more than 5. We're being perfectly honest with ourselves. I'm gonna get these guys in here on 10 of these pumps. Get water pumping out, because remember, it's gonna evaporate whether we pump it or not, so we might as well pump it before it evaporates. These are technically not useless yet, but I'm not gonna put any beavers in there. I'll spare you the anguish. Yeah, there's so much missing over here, because different stuff hasn't been put back in place. And obviously, our farm area over here has left a little something to be desired, I guess we could say. Need to get this forester going to replant some trees. We just need to put a lot of tender loving care into District 7 up here. And of course, they're still, trying to make the dirt excavators so we can do all this stuff, and trying to build the other bad water discharge. Or no, they actually have built this one. This one needs to be opened. Increase our speed. Yeah, see that should really improve our power output. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. We're making so much power. And yes, number cruncher fanatics of the world. There is no number cruncher here. There will be very, very soon. So don't worry. It's going to be okay. This dirt excavator, for the time being, is just going to be left connected to this engine, because that's the easiest thing to do. But we are going to put a number cruncher back in here. Don't worry. It's going to be okay. And at least a couple of you really want to see some overflow put in place here. Not that, you know, this actually needs it right now, but if we don't do it, we're going to forget. So if I just put in a regular dam here, this bad water cannot get high enough to go back through it, just by virtue of how this is set up. But this can get high enough to overflow, and, you know, we kind of just want to make sure that that's not going to be an issue. And we'll need to come back to that at some other point in time. Which reminds me, as we're talking about all the different stuff that you guys have been suggesting and things to improve, yes, eventually I do want this to connect into our main reservoir. It's just that we're not quite at the point of being able to put in a bridge for the water or a detour or whatever quite yet. So, fear not, this will be addressed. We just, you know, 58 days left of the bad tide is not the time to do it. And then over here, our dear friend Dr. Cudson, yes, the Numa Numa area, for whatever reason you choose to call it this, will be integrated into our main reservoir. We will not be wasting all of the water coming out of this single water source. But, again, it is currently a bad tide, and we kind of can't do anything with this until we have all that stuff taken care of. But what we can do in that period of time that we're waiting is we can come in here and we can start clearing some trees out. The ones that we can reach, at least. Just, you know, do what we can with what we got. That's what we've been saying forever and ever and ever. So we might as well just keep on keeping on. I do want to avoid beavers getting sick from this stuff, so I'm not going to let them, you know, climb up on this mess. But we do have access, thanks to this bit here. It is very, very far away. But we do have access to this. And, of course, through here as well. I just have to figure out a good place to pop in. I guess here is about as good a spot as any. Just pop in there and get them cutting some trees down. Put in a little bit of storage or wood if I have a place to... But sheesh. The terrain is very inhospitable. Might be the correct term. So... I just go ahead and give us a little bit of an in here. Or whenever they get that finished, to put some logs in place. Yeah, just start cleaning this up. Just start cleaning it up, and then we can figure out some sort of a routing thing. We can put a canal in place and all of that. Ideally, we'd figure out a way to have this set up to where there would be minimal construction required during the next temperate cycle. And then we can just kind of shunt stuff through. Obviously now that we have, well, we don't have a ton of wood, but we have the ability to build things to some degree of quickness at this point. I'm envisioning just kind of a very simple diversionary spillway like we've built in other places. Just take advantage of our space here and just shunt it through. If it's clean, if it's bad, then, you know, just shove it off the side here. But that's something we can come back to at a later time when everything is set up ready to go. Speaking of set up ready to go, putting this straight power shaft in place is going to mean that we can finally get dirt excavation going. So, let's go ahead and get them in the habit of doing that. Get that last little bit finished. And then as soon as we have dirt, we can do so much stuff. So much stuff. And I think we're going to want to start in this area here, kind of getting stuff filled in. I can't remember if I've actually laid down terrain blocks yet or not. No, I haven't even researched. That's the other playthrough. I don't know, I've got like 5 of these going right now. But we will have to research this as soon as we have the science, which I know we don't have currently. But I know how we can get one. That's right, friends. That's right. It's time once again for your beloved number cruncher to make its appearance. All we gotta do is make space for it. So that, of course, is going to require that we have Lumberjack flag reactivated once again. And we have some sort of a setup, no matter how ugly, some sort of a setup to get this whole thing situated. And I think the easiest thing for us to do is going to be to just bring in... Oh, we don't even have these researched. Wow. That just goes to show you how little thought I gave to the number crunchers here. Let's see if I can just, you know, pull this out of thin air. Yep. That'll work. That'll work. We'll just get that set up. And then we'll just have these guys tied in here. I know it doesn't have to necessarily be this way. It's just one of those things that I end up getting some sort of idea what I want something to look like, and then that's what it ends up looking like, even if it's not the best option. You know our motto, no rule that says the dog can't play basketball. Well, sometimes the dog just wants to play basketball, you know, you feel me? Go ahead and get this popped in here. We don't have dirt storage, and we're rapidly running out of places to put it, so I'm gonna go... Oh, man, this single bits of trees here need to go away. But we'll get that out of the way. We'll put in a large industrial pile here. Once that's all taken care of, and then these guys will be able to make good use of that. Now, I know you're going to say it. I know you're going to say it, and it's fine. The number cruncher takes 500 HP. This outputs 400. This takes 200. This takes 200. Keep in mind, this is not the final thing we're doing, but I do want to have the number cruncher kind of out of the way a little bit so that we can have an opportunity to make this look nice before we commit to putting a whole bunch of stuff in place. And I'm not, even though I adjusted the difficulty on this playthrough, remember to only give 50% refund when you demolish stuff. I mean, at this point, we've basically beaten it. Just by virtue of the beavers, it's going to be almost impossible for them to all die at this point because of the apocalypse mode length anyway, so it really doesn't matter. I'm not going to be concerned about it. We just got to let them do what they're going to do. And I'll go ahead and put that number cruncher in place so they can start building it. But this does need to get put in place first so they can get more dirt going. And then that needs to get built so they can put more dirt in that. And, you know, so on and so forth. Just let it do what it's got to do. And at some point, maybe it'll make sense for us to get everything connected from this district down to here, so on and so forth. But it's a lot of work to get stuff, especially on this map, to get stuff over here. I'm not saying we're not going to do it, but it's not exactly on a crazy priority thing for me personally. These guys are all finished. There's nothing left for them to get, and I don't think I'm going to bother getting the rest of this out of here, at least not right now, so we can get a couple beaver laborers back that way. These guys are looking okay. Well-being hasn't really increased at all, probably because, yes. Yeah, they can't they can't build this until this is in place. That's probably exactly why it's 28 instead of 29. There's, you know, all sorts of little things steadily improving. I don't know why it chose to do that. But you can see we've got algae. You know, we got a little bit of overflow, got a little bit of mushroom overflow. These things will get caught up eventually, and we're probably going to end up building more. But all that stuff just takes time. Much more interested in focusing on getting this area improved where we can. You'll notice that the well-being in this district is up to 21. It was not 21 before. So this stuff has helped just absolutely massively. And obviously there's other stuff we can improve as well as we get to that point. One of the other things people have been really asking for is to put in the rest of our bad water discharges. And yes, those are very important priorities, and I am very, very much wanting to do those, but the caveat is metal production is not exactly super fast yet. We're working on improving it, but we do have to be mindful that each of these takes 200 metal blocks, and there are some things that are going to be a little bit more important first, but I'm going to go ahead and commit to building both of these just lower priority, and I think at least a couple of you suggested that that's how we would do it anyway, and then make sure those are both set to open. Obviously, bad tide right now, it doesn't matter because, you know, these are going to be going for the next 52 days anyway. But we're going to want to have these done before we have a drought. Because, you know, basically free infinite power forever. Very, very compelling idea. Actually, we have a little bit more we can get out in the way of some trees here. Lots and lots of stuff to accomplish. These guys are not digging anymore because they don't have anywhere to put their dirt. Because everybody's trying to build the number cruncher instead. And I don't have enough extra beavers to run all these buildings. But, well, I don't even have enough for the builder's hut or the hauling post. Yeah, because I put 4 beavers in the dirt excavator, so I take those guys out. And then that gives me, in this district, still nobody in the builder's hut, but I got 5 hauling beavers out. I think, let's see, this lumberjack flag probably can get paused. I'll tell you what can be paused is the forester here for sure. These guys pumping. Probably could use more storage for water. Yeah, they definitely could. And that's something that, you know, there's just so many incremental improvements that we have to make that we, you know, kind of haven't made. So you just, you know, keep identifying those things, point them out, because I'm going to miss a lot of them. And I think at this point, if you're watching episode 23 of this series, you understand what's up. You understand that I'm just forgetful about things. It is not malicious. It just happens. So I'm never going to get mad at you for saying, hey, you forgot to do this, because that's the collaborative nature of the Let's Play. It's not a watch me play. It's a Let's Play. You're part of it too. So if you see me make a mistake or you see me miss something, please bring it to my attention until I acknowledge it or fix it, because I'm probably going to forget otherwise. So that being said, go back down here, because once we actually have the science to get our terrain block research, we are really, really going to need to start damming this up. Or not necessarily damming it up, but just, you know, thinning it out, making it so it's not nearly so much of a evaporation risk. And also, on that same subject, the foresters have the ability to get more of these mangrove trees in place if we allow them to. The only reason I haven't done that yet is because I'm not exactly sure what this is going to look like landscape-wise as we continue getting through this area. Now, we have space here that I'm assuming, yeah, they can definitely reach that. We just have to unplant these trees so this can spread. And I'm very, very much okay with this just being mangrove growing areas. You take a look at the food stuff, like we have 1 mangrove fruit, so like they're eating all of it. It's never going to be a way to, you know, provide sustenance to every single beaver, but you know, every little bit does count on the well-being. And, you know, most of them are getting it. So if we can increase that just a tiny bit to the point where everybody can have some, then I think that's good. Obviously, kohlrabies need some work. Our farming expansion improvements, etc., that we're trying to do over here are going to help out massively with that. 72%, 78%. Yeah, but what I'm saying why we haven't done this yet is this stuff's all got to get moved. And like I said, I wanted to put it in here. So if we have this set up, just for the sake of illustration, I got this here. We already have this path in place. If I just put 1 pump here, 1 pump here, 1 pump here, that's 6 of them. And then we can come in on the other side here and put in a bunch more. We can just stack these things. You know, there's only so much room that you have for stuff like this. And it doesn't have to be a tremendously complicated ordeal. You just have to be realistic about what you can accomplish, what you can get done, and that's just the way it goes. Get these guys coming in here to get rid of these mangrove trees. But yeah, I am going to unplant pretty much all these kohlrabies here, and I want it, again, because the ladder is right here, and it's real close to our district crossing and everything. We got storage up here, so on and so forth, and I can put a bunch of tanks just stacked over here if I really felt like it. We're just doing what we can. This fluid dump does not need to be here. This ladder probably also doesn't need to be here, but I'm not going to get rid of it quite yet. I want to see how many pumps I can fit into this little area right here. before we get too crazy. Okay, so this guy can actually reach back there. That's good. That's good, getting little bits and pieces of stuff done. All right, so I see 1,000 sites. I see we've got some dirt. So if we research terrain blocks, then guess what? We can come in here and we can put our first little bits of terrain just nice and close, because I know this is already here. And then that's going to allow me to build another water wheel, which is going to allow me to start putting other buildings over here. That's going to be really helpful, because it's going to decrease the need of this engine to be operating the smelters and all that stuff. So, just get rid of that guy. See who's going to end up building what. Looks like, yeah, here we go. Here we go, folks. Get all these pieces in here. Make some more land. Make some more power. Everybody goes home happy. You'll love to see it. Yeah, so now they can work on that. And because we're going to be exporting dirt, I'm going to have to put in an industrial pile over here. Set for dirt to obtain. And then I'm going to put another one right on the side here. Just so it's super convenient. That's going to be set to, I guess, supply. And then, if we're going to be doing a whole lot of work over here, then I will need to have a larger one somewhere. Which I guess for right now would make sense to put here. Just for the sake of, everybody being able to do what they got to do. So, what we are going to accomplish here is, I know we have this one sluice gate is right here. I'm not going to move it, mostly because that would be a tremendous, huge pain in the butt, because there's all this water up here. But if the water is not really having to flow through here, then it doesn't matter how we have this set up. We can, I also don't think I need to completely get this completely fixed. Yeah, there you go. But if I just make this a 2-wide channel, and then just snake it through here, then what ends up happening is I got one here, I got one here, and this one being here can then get combined with that there. We just put platforms on the top. Nice and easy, folks. Super simple process. No tears, only dreams. You got 6 of these right here. And then we got some space on the back side here to put in big tanks or whatever you want to call it. Just depending on how you want to have stuff set up. Super simple. Again, just a really, really uncomplicated, deeply unserious thing. Just straighten this out just a tiny bit. Just keep this nice 2 blocks wide. I think is going to be totally fine to get this area all set up. And then we can continue working in from there. But this should be a big improvement as we continue going on. Come over here and take a look at this. Waiting on planks and logs. We should have pretty much all of that. This one's up to, what average? 18. Okay, well that's not as high as that needs to be. Ah, it probably has something to do with our lack of food variety. Because we're only growing kohlrabis, we're only growing corn. Yeah, see, this is what happens. You got all this stuff going on. It's very, very easy to find yourself kind of behind on things. Now, I've got 5 empty slots here for beavers. Let's go ahead and just load up, get our 26 beavers, and I can have the farmhouse operating. And yeah, we can make some changes to how this is set up. Remember, we have corn here, corn rations, and that's for corn rations as well. And we also have space over here we're trying to use for stuff like logs and planks and all that. So we do have to do a little bit more terraforming with this. Just get something accomplished. Got our triples. Went in on all this. We got doubles here. Just gotta get this whole thing completely torn down. Every little bit matters. Every little bit. Yeah, except this one tree right here is that's kind of a pain in the butt, huh? Yeah, that's well, it is what it is. Fortunately, we do have the ability to just connect this nicely like so. Somebody should be able to reach that. Except I did not put that in a very good spot, did I? No, that's going to have to get another thing here. Yeah, it's all going to make sense eventually. You know, it's just one of those things. Let's get these guys in the dirt excavators again, because we are starting to run out of stuff there. Now, power-wise, I am going to pause the number cruncher again. We're not deleting it. I'm going to pause it so that we can actually use the power for this. Totally fine. We're going to keep on working. We do have dirt, well, kind of, coming in here. Very, very slow process. Now, you might be asking yourself, why are you making it too wide and then putting the platforms underneath stuff? Well, I do still want some water to be able to get through here. At least to the point where we're going to decide that the river flow itself actually stops, which I'm not exactly sure about yet. But also, you take a look right here. This straight shot all the way through to here, I think we're going to want to do that. Just get this whole thing set up nice and easy, claim a whole bunch of land back, and do what we can be doing here. You know, it does take time. Like, I don't just say that to say it. I say it because it's true. It's an actual thing. So if I've got, let's see, one here, one here, one here. So that also doesn't have to stay there. That's fine. I want to make sure I can get between the two sides of this. And don't forget we do have the ability to move things around without it being completely stupid. Just got to get it done. And that is, of course, going to require that we get this pile filled up with dirt again, and that's going to take time. You know the drill. You know the drill. So this is this side here at least. Getting pretty close. Getting pretty close. I do have to let them finish all this and then get this tree out of here. You know the drill with all that. But once that's in place, we do have the ability to get these guys out as well. Food is looking okay here. Wow, this says 24 now. Okay, they must have imported a whole lot of food. That's probably what happened. How are we looking over here? We're not making extract. I do need extracts. We'll turn that back on. Yes, that's fine. We just have to, you know, do stuff in bits and pieces. Let it be what it's going to be. Now, I do think this ladder here is going to go away, but for right now, it's a very convenient tool for them to get across here. Once this is fully connected, I'm going to get rid of it, because this is going to be a great spot for us to put in some big tanks, and we can stack them. We can do all sorts of stuff as soon as we get our overhangs. So that's going to be an important thing. Just have to decide exactly how we're going to have this set up. It's going to depend on how this is all going to be situated here. I actually don't know, off the top of my head, what the clearance is for these big tanks. Wow, that's it? I just have to have a double and then... Wow, okay. Alright, well, I need 1,000 science to get the 4x1 overhang, and then we can stack these things till the cows come home, and then some. I also don't have any cows, so I guess that would be a very, very long time, because there's, you know, no cows to come home. Means that that's never going to happen. That probably made absolutely 0 sense, and that's totally fine. We're just going to move on. Now, these beavers in here, I have 6 vacancies, which I'm sure are the builders and some of the haulers. We just got to get our beaver numbers up. No matter what, as you get further along into the game, there's more stuff that you have to be able to get done that takes more bodies. It's pretty unavoidable, unless you just want to micromanage stuff, which, to be perfectly honest, I don't really want to spend a whole lot of time doing. So, just doing what we can. You know the drill. This pump is almost to the point where it has to be shut off, because we're going to be having almost all that water suctioned out anyway. Just really don't want to set this off until I absolutely have to. Just keep an eye on it. Okay, they did put this one dam piece in. I'm going to go ahead and put in a second one just to be safe. for right now. I know we have 43 days, but you know how it goes. You don't keep now the logs are a problem. Because guess what? Somebody didn't unpause the lumberjack flags. Oh, I know. Send those comments. It fuels me. That was not intentional, despite some of your opinions about how this works. But we need to actually enable this guy to get connected. So I did just turn this stuff on. I'm gonna unmark every one of these trees over here, just so we can get these 2 trees out of the way. Come on, click. Just to get these out of the way, and then we can put in a path and another lumberjack flag, and that'll be nice and easy. But you know the drill. We just got to get this wood out, got to get it replanted, so on and so forth, because we're out of logs, which isn't a crisis yet. It's not, fantastic, but let's help it out by getting rid of some of this stuff. We can harvest logs from there. This oak is just about gone, and then we're not going to need these guys. They can go do something else. This also can go away. Start doing more log storage elsewhere. Which raises the question of how do we want to treat the water down here. We could very easily just build log storage over the river, which is probably a smart way to use space. But remember, we did have a conversation about wanting to eliminate evaporation in a lot of different spots. So that is something that is going to take a little bit of time for us to get everything implemented the way we want to. It's just not going to be a tremendously fast process. But that's okay, because you know the drill. It just takes time. This guy is getting very, very close here. Is that tree? Yep, they still have not gotten... Ah, it's the logs. It's always the logs. It's always the logs. Yeah, see, there's trees down here that we could get that aren't really, they're not really that great, but better than nothing, you know? If I pop that in, they can get access to most of those. We also have some over here that if we're going to... Yeah, that's probably going to make the most sense. Put that there. Let those guys do what they're going to do. And so on, so forth. Of course, that doesn't mean the dirt excavator is not running because there's no trees. But that's part of how it goes. Just gotta let them do what they're going to do. Bits and pieces, so on and so forth. I got 6 of these here. I got rid of most of those. I'm going to go ahead and say, you know what? We have so much water anyway, let's just get rid of these. This has no trees to cut down whatsoever. That got cut down. That got cut down. It means we can drain these tanks and get rid of them. Not that I think we really have that much extra capacity up here. But that's going to give us opportunity to get some materials back. We do have to build a couple more over here, but we are slowly migrating over here, getting things set up a little bit better, a little bit more efficiently. This is connected, which means it's about time to go ahead and say bye-bye to that mess. Then, like I was saying before, come on, there we go. This storage right here can be set very easily to make a simple supply area. We don't have to stack tanks over here, but this is out of the way enough for this to just be a neat spot to put some water. Nice and simple like. This also means that we can get rid of this path here, and then eventually get rid of that guy as well, and continue filling this in. Now this is filled with the help of a sluice. I think, like I was saying before, what I want to do after we get to this point, I think 12 of these pumps right here is, it should be about enough to keep up with most of this. And then, of course, we can add more later if we really want to. It's not going to be that big of a deal. But after we get to that point, then I think we're going to be fine just turning this into a single wide canal. Super, super simple. And then either, like I said before, we could straighten this, or we could just have this go right the way through here in a single canal, and it'll irrigate everything pretty nicely. Or I could just do what I was originally going to do and quit waffling. Nobody likes a waffler. Just unplant all of this, and then just have this be a complete straight all the way through here. And that'll be totally fine. Probably makes the most sense just to do it that way, to be perfectly honest with you. But we will need to put in different irrigation stations, so on and so forth. Remember, because I was supposed to be planting stuff here too. This still has scrap metal in it? Alright, that needs to go away. Come on, click. Get that taken out. We do have scrap metal storage somewhere over here. Oh, it's like the most pathetic little scrap metal storage you've ever seen. Oh, of course, they'd replant this. They'd replant this. I wasn't even thinking about it. Wasn't even thinking about it. Alright. Clearly mistakes have been made. I just need to remove the trees from over there. Get this indicated for cutting again. Like nothing ever happened. Yeah, that was a pretty tremendous blunder on my part. But, you know, not a disaster. Just one of those things you're like, really, dude? You're really going to have it? You're really going to have it go like that? Oh, it's fine. Yeah, I'm pretty fully committed to getting this just all the way filled in at this point. Lots and lots of dirt. Lots and lots of dirt. Are they going to actually be able to get over to all this? I hope so. I think they can. I know we've kind of created like a disaster here in terms of getting the stuff actually filled in. But I think it's going to be fine. This fluid dump, I'm going to go ahead and say can go away. This levee can go ahead and go away, and we can just fill this with regular... I don't know why I forgot what dirt was called, but, you know, that's just been kind of one of those days. Let's get this situated. We got this space here that isn't completely squared off, and now we have an opportunity to do that. No, just little fixes, one piece at a time. No issues. It is going to take him quite a while to get that done. Especially when we don't have extract. And we don't have extract because we don't have any bad water. We don't have bad water because the pump was turned off. So, you know, it all ends up making sense. It all ends up making sense. You just have to remember what you're trying to do and then get it done. Alright, so double goes there, single goes there. I can't detonate this yet because, obviously, they have to be able to get over there. But we're working on it. Well-being here is a cool 23, and over here average is 30, which means this district is at, yep, 31. This is finito. Nothing up here means we could, and maybe should, have a little bit more of a storage or something set up over here. We also, if we're trying to be super efficient with how all of this is set up, we could just have this go all the way straight across here, meet up there. But that's something that we can take a little bit of time to decide. We don't have to necessarily do it right now, but before we get too entrenched in... entrenched? Get it? Before we get too entrenched in any one specific way of doing stuff, we probably should take some time to figure out if that's actually going to be the best way to do it. Which, you know, knowing my track record on some of this stuff, probably not going to be the case. But we're going to do what we can do. Get these trees all cut down. I think I fixed that. Yes, I did. Okay, good. Now, I've got 3 unemployed beavers here. And I feel like that shouldn't be the case. But, yeah, that bad water pump can go away. This can go away. almost certainly never going to have these fluid dumps again unless there is some sort of absolute cataclysm of mismanagement, which, let's be honest, is entirely possible. But I'm sincerely hoping that does not happen. You know, just incremental improvements, very, very slowly. And we do need to unplant these berries here. I've got 419, so I'm not going to get rid of these guys yet. But I do think I can safely at least unmark them for planting. Doesn't matter. It's not going to do anything to the plants. But so that we remember that's going through here. And then when we get to this point, I do kind of want to keep this pool for the mangroves in place. So maybe that's where that's just going to empty into, and then the rest of this just gets filled up. A whole lot less in the way of actually, you know, evaporating area. We'll get there. That's empty. Good. That can get removed. And I do want to start growing crops over here, but we're really not quite to the perfect spot yet to do that. Still working on it. See, if I got one here, and then I got another one here, then I theoretically, well, I didn't really lay this out in a tremendously great spot either. I could either move this over one, which probably wouldn't be a bad idea. And then I could just have this farmhouse be on the other side here, and I could just have another one of those things coming across this way. Or I could just say, you know what? It's not that important. We're just going to see what happens as we get there. Probably a healthier way to look at it anyway. But I'm really hoping if I can get the rest of this just kind of sealed off, we're going to have a better idea of what's actually going to be able to be irrigated, what's going to need to be irrigated. Maybe take a, I don't know, like a spot like right about here probably is going to be enough to get the rest of this irrigated. If it's not, then I'm going to look like an idiot, but I'm good at that, so I guess that's probably fine. Yeah, let's just try doing a little... Like, I normally don't do a whole lot of terraforming, so apologies if this is a frustrating process to watch. I'm pretty sure this is going to get us most of what we want. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 to there, which means it should be just about to this little bit here. And then that should get us most of this whole area, and then over to about here. And what we're going to end up doing here is I do want to still use this swimming pool, and I think we can kind of tie that into our area that we're irrigating for the mangroves. So if that's connected to this, then it doesn't have to have a fluid dump, but I can get all of the rest of this completely filled in. I know it's going to take a really long time to put this in, but I don't think that's going to be completely impossible for us to get situated here. This swimming pool also has a piece of platform underneath that we need to get rid of. So, for the time being, I'm keeping this here, just because it's already here. It doesn't mean we have to keep it here. We can move it. We can do something else. We can widen this to 3 blocks wide at some point and then have a bunch of swimming pools just right in the middle. We have a lot of options. I want you guys to know that. If you have very strong opinions about this, please let me know. Now is the time. Because obviously we're not going to have this whole thing completely finished in this episode. We do still have plenty of opportunities to change it. We have plenty of opportunities to improve the design, quote-unquote design, huh? Most of the time I just try to figure stuff out in real time, and I know that irritates some people. Well, that's okay. We have a good time with what we're doing. But yeah, let me know your thoughts about what you want to see here, what you don't want to see. Because I think for the most part, a lot of stuff has gotten tremendously better. And obviously some could still State have a little bit of improvement to it. But, you know, that's how this whole process works. Just do what you can when you can, and that's what you got. How are we looking here? Every 2 hours we're getting 6 of these. Extract is getting consumed expeditiously. Making a lot of power here that we're not even coming close to using because I don't have enough beavers to run stuff. There's that population problem again. Can they reach all these? No, they don't. Oh, they don't have the extract. That's where it's all going. It's going between here and here. That's taken care of. That's looking good. Again, this area here, they're not going to get to for a long time because they have other priorities, but I haven't forgotten about it. Probably be next episode before we can actually do something over here, but it is still in the back of my mind as something that needs to get done. Now, the wood thing is going to kind of clear it up. Hopefully, that's something we can continue working with. Water situation's looking really good. Most of our storage is full. This tank here, I just kind of left here because it's a place where the beavers could just keep sipping from. But eventually that does need to get changed. We probably should also do one of these Flames of Unity at some point. Not exactly sure where that's going to go. I know we have a lot of room around here for other stuff that we haven't really done. I know that's a less than satisfying thing, but I don't want to just kind of cram stuff in here for no reason, right? You know, you want it to be at least somewhat accessible. Although I'm growing a little bit concerned long-term about our ability to fit most of this stuff in place. We'll just have to see what happens. Just kind of place a couple of these things in spots where we can, you know, actually stick them and it doesn't look completely ridiculous. It definitely still looks at least a little bit ridiculous, but, you know, sometimes that's exactly what it says on the tin. Still got 3 unemployed beavers. I thought I solved this problem. Well, I'll tell you what we can do to actually solve this. Is, that's log storage. Not anymore. Not anymore. Let's put in... Yeah, because I know we're doing all this stuff with dirt, right? Let's actually replace this with a larger barracks, and then we can just fill that up, and that's going to help alleviate some of our labor issues. And then we're going to have to find a spot pretty soon to end today's episode. We're going to see what happens. There's just a lot going on right now, and I guess I could have time-lapsed a lot of this. But you know my thoughts about all that. I'd like to not pull that out until it's kind of unavoidable. But we will continue chipping away bits and pieces. Well-being score of 32 is nice. Now that this water is actually about to be gone, yeah, we got some questions to ask ourselves here. Like, remember when I was going to have this whole area irrigated anyway? And then I didn't do it? Not yet, at least. I wonder if I should have another centrifuge in here. I guess I could probably justify having it here. But for me to have it in place, I'm going to have some other stuff. Yeah, see, the way this is set up is really not advantageous to much of anything we got going on. I could put a fermenter here, and then I could put a centrifuge, but I can't do this. That's not going to work. That will work. That will work very nicely, but I'm going to have some dead space, which I guess, well, hopefully we don't have any beavers get contaminated, but I guess the easiest thing to do would be to have just a decontamination pod right there, just because we can. Get them going on that. This is stopped because why? Because we don't have logs? Alright, I guess that's fine. No, I guess I can't demolish their home right when they're just about to settle down and go to bed. So we'll do that when the beavers wake up. We'll get it all figured out. And I'm sure there's all sorts of other stuff that I've already forgotten I said I was going to do, because that's just how it works. But we still made a lot of good progress today. Still made a lot of good progress. Got a couple more things. I'm going to go ahead and get situated here. Make that the priority. And that's going to increase our capacity to a total of 32 housing-wise. Which, now it says I've got... oh, because I have incapacitated viewers. Let's bump this up to 30. Not 32. We'll just go up to 30. That's going to make this district a lot easier to get some more stuff accomplished. I think finally most of these dynamites are in place. They just need a couple more here, which that'll take the time that it's going to take. There's not much else we can or want to do about it. This needs to be extended this way. This farmhouse can easily be replaced and put on top of the river here with basically no problems whatsoever. That's totally fine. This district center could be rotated, could be moved entirely. There's no rule that says it has to be here. We just kind of left it there. And we do need to have more blueberries. I did say that. But we're going to be doing so much reorganization of this stuff, it's probably not going to end up mattering in the long run. So we'll just have to see what happens, I suppose. How are things looking over here? Still good. I really want to blow all this up. Is this all done? Is this all done? Cool. You know what that means. Well, that's done. That's done. That's done. That's done. That's done. And that's done. And that's done. Oh, that might have been a little bit of a mistake, but we'll fix that. So all we gotta do is put that in, and then we're gonna have room for more trees. I know we're all so excited about trees. Well, we should be. These trees are good. They're gonna help us. That's all stuff that takes time, and I absolutely can't plant those here. I forgot. Oh, there's so much to do, so much to fix. I was going to put in industrial piles here. That is something that I was going to go ahead and get situated before I forgot. So I put that there. It would be very easy to put in... No, not planks. I wanted those at the bottom. And this... That could become planks. That would be fine. We just want to make sure we have some sort of storage over here generally. Because this storage for planks needs to be emptied so we can plant other stuff here and we can move things around. There's all sorts of everything that we said we're going to do that we haven't done yet. You know, it's just one of those things. It takes time. And it can be a little bit of a frustrating process, but you know how it goes. Alright, so let's... Before anybody has the temptation to commit stupidity. There, nobody died. Problem solved. That's gone. Let's go ahead. Just put that back where it was. Just because that's where it was. And there you go. We'll end up, you know, fixing, improving, changing, so on and so forth, a lot of this. But that is one of the many improvements that we could and should do, at least for where this is situated right now. All right. So now that I guess my Sudafed has betrayed me and made it harder to talk, not for lack of trying, we might as well go ahead and start ending this episode. Do a brief recap of what we got accomplished. I know there's so much going on, it's impossible to get to everything that you want to get to in one video. But we have improved the well-being of the entire map. This district's up to 22, which it was a lot lower than that. This district is up to 30. And it has gone up, has gone down a little bit. The food situation continues to improve. We're up to about 7,000. Water pumping situation has been massively organized, so that's a big help. Storage still plenty full here. We're in the process of kind of straightening, filling this in. Obviously, you know, the dirt takes a long time. But that's looking good. We discussed plans to divert this when it's clean water. When it's clean water, we discussed plans to divert this into here. And we've got other stuff that we can get to as well. Just keeping things nice and organized. Probably need to just turn this into part of the reservoir at this point and blast out channel here to make sure that that goes in there pretty much all the time. This eventually does need to go out that way. We probably should be pumping from here. I know we haven't gotten to that. But we'll get there. We'll get there. We did finally get terraforming started. It's not a perfect setup yet, but, you know, we'll do what we can when we can. Got a little bit more bad water pumping that we probably should be doing. Now, for the sake of what we're working on now, I will go ahead and put in another one here just because it's super convenient. And that is... Ooh, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. That's super not going to work. That's very frustrating. Ah! Well, it was a bad idea. We'll figure something else out. We do have the ability, you know, pump out of here and all that, but we'll get it figured out as time goes by. Should be totally fine. I know we need to turn this back on, but I don't currently have the power hooked up correctly to do that. We'll get it figured out. We will get it figured out. Probably could reorganize this a little bit. I could have probably pretty easily replaced this with not a suspension bridge. And made it just a thing we could pump bad water off of, but you know how it goes. We have bad water discharges in the process of being built. Still waiting on some stuff, but you know that was something that was requested and we are doing it. And then I think probably one of the most important things, but also one of the most difficult things for us to, you know, actually get right, rerouting the river, putting terraforming stuff in here so we can have a whole bunch of farming going on and getting that situated. But, you know, it takes time. It really does. So I appreciate your patience, especially with this series of being a little intermittent since the drop of Update 7 on the experimental branch. I do not have any plans to update this playthrough to Update 7 just because I feel like we're kind of getting close to the end-ish of this in terms of what I wanted to prove with it and what's kind of reasonably possible to hope to accomplish without just, you know, going on for this forever, because I don't think people want to see this for the next, like, 6 months. So we'll see what we can get done. But I really appreciate you sticking with it, giving me patience and all that as we try to deal with stuff, and then I'm suddenly unable to record pretty much entirely for a week, minus a couple of videos that are kind of rough. But the show must go on, and I really appreciate the support. Beard Boosters, you already know, not possible to do it without you, so I really appreciate all of your contributions and the consistent support that makes it possible to keep doing this fun stuff. And I know there's still a lot more to get done in this one, so please do continue letting me know your ideas, your thoughts, so on and so forth, so we can have the best possible conclusion to this that we can think of. But that's going to be it for this one. We have next episode, hopefully, finally, an opportunity to completely overhaul our farming on this other side of this river here, reroute some more stuff, get things continually optimized, and enjoy the process of mid-late game apocalypse mode as we wait to see if we're going to get a 100-day drought or 100-day bad tide, after which point I would consider this to be basically done. But anyway, that's all the time I got. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Whatever it is you're doing, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you next time. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.